All right, so warning, these two words may scare you. Teen driver. Well, thankfully, Tampa Bay has lead attorney Matt Powell, who joins me today to discuss how he can help you protect your teen behind the wheel. This is so important to chat about. I don't think we can do this enough. Good morning. Good to see you.
Thank you, Carly. Thank you so much.
So yeah, let's talk about the number, the statistics. I think it's fair to say that people get a little nervous when they hear teens are out on the road and what they're doing. There
are over 750,000 teenage drivers on the road today in Florida.
That's just in Florida, okay.
Yeah, just in Florida. And sadly, the motor vehicle crash rate has gone up almost 30% from 2012.
Wow.
And that has to do mostly with distracted driving.
My immediate concern, is phones.
Yes.
I mean, are we assuming that's where that's the
cell
phones,
from? Yeah, texting, apps, all sorts of things are distracting drivers. Not only teenage drivers, but especially teenage drivers, because they don't have quite the experience of driving a car on the road, and then they're distracted by two things. Their friends, that's a big distraction in the car, and the other thing is, the electronic stuff, cell phones.
Well, let's talk about some things that parents should keep in mind. And of course, you've seen many cases. You've unfortunately probably had to deal with this and seen firsthand the damage that some of these things can do. What do you want parents to know this morning as they maybe have a teen that's on the road already or about to be on the road?
You know, it's important to take a pledge with your child to not drive distracted.
Okay.
It's a very simple piece of paper where you sit down and you say, look, distracted driving changes lives. People get killed, they get hurt, their lives are ruined forever.
It's interesting you say a pledge and actually have them sign something, because my first thought is, well, you just have the conversation with them. What is it about actually signing and maybe have something that's tangible?
I think it's a little more memorable, and you can hang that on the refrigerator or put that in the car. Just say, hey, come on, everybody, we agree that if someone is driving distracted and you're in the back seat, you're going to tell them, hey, slow down. I want you to not be distracted. Concentrate on the road, because we don't want to hurt somebody.
What are some other things? I know we wanted to bring up insurance too. We know that this is a costly time as well, and some people may be trying to kind of figure out how they can not make it as expensive.
Car insurance is expensive for a teenager, and a parent may be tempted, well, I'll just get their own policy for them because I don't want to mess up my great ratings that I've had. You know, I've never had a claim, etc. But the problem with getting a separate policy for your teenager is if their car breaks down or something and they borrow the family car, they are excluded from driving on the family policy. Okay. And now you're uninsured. And now you're at great risk if they have a wreck.
Well, and let's real quickly talk about that as well, because I know that is a big issue in Florida, the uninsured here driving.
Yes. Uninsured driving, about 50% of the cars on the road don't carry bodily injury insurance, which means if they get into a wreck with you, they're not going to pay you for any of your injuries. And that's why uninsured motorists is the most important and the most valuable insurance you can buy, because it's the only insurance that pays you and your family for the injuries and the losses you suffer.
We have a little less than a minute left. Talk about, too, when it comes to maybe car shopping, car buying for your teens. What do you want parents to consider and to know?
You know, it's interesting. You brought it up. You want a modern car that has all the safety features. That'll protect your child.
That's changed a lot over the years. That is good.
It has.
Yeah.
It's saving lives. It's really making a big impact. The other thing is, you mentioned, get a stick shift.
That's what I learned on. I'm a huge supporter of that.
You know, you're not going to be very distracted when you're driving a stick shift. You have to think about it. Your mind is in the game of driving, and you're not chatting and talking and eating and drinking and stuff like that.
Well, as we get ready to close here, what's your take home for parents and for families watching? What do you want them to know?
Sit down with your children, talk about the seriousness and the responsibilities of driving, and be a good driving coach. Help your teenager become a good driver, a responsible driver, and set a good example for them.
Be a good role model. I know we can't say it enough. Well, you can tell that this is your passion. Again, you've probably seen, unfortunately, things up close and personal that maybe you wish you hadn't, but there's always some things we can do to try to prevent that. So we appreciate that this is your cause.
Thank you, Carly. Thank you.
We'll put your info up if anyone has any questions or feel they can call you and ask.
Please call me. Be glad to talk about it. And we're always there to help you out.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time this morning.